If you look at the ASPCA website right now, it will tell you that apples are a fantastic, healthy snack for your dog. It is highly recommended. But on certain modern dog parent forums, you would think an apple core is literally a loaded weapon. The panic is real. You'll see warnings written in all caps, creating this idea that a single seed puts your dog in mortal danger. It has turned a basic piece of fruit into the center of a canine toxicology hysteria. Let's look at the clinical reality of cyanide. This threat isn't entirely fabricated. It's based on a real biochemical mechanism found in references like the Merck Veterinary Manual. Cyanide causes cellular hypoxia, a state where the body is starved of oxygen. It doesn't stop the lungs, it happens inside the cells. Cyanide binds to an enzyme in the mitochondria called cytochrome C oxidase. You can think of it as braking the engine of the cell. The oxygen is delivered right to the door, but the cell has lost the ability to unlock it and bring it inside. Because oxygen is trapped in the bloodstream, you get a chilling visual. Bright red gums from unused oxygen pooling in the blood. Then, as the cells start dying, that red turns to a bluish color. The symptoms are brutal and fast, including potential death. But this is where we have to stop looking at the spy movie version of poison and start looking at the math. Toxicity is always a question of dosage. Every plant-based food contains toxins. The real question is the threshold of safety. Dr. Andrew Spanner at the Walkerville Vet Clinic conducted an incredible myth-busting analysis on this pervasive internet rumor. Dr. Spanner took the seeds from 7 normal apples, which gave him 54 seeds total, averaging 8 seeds per apple. He put them on a precision scale, and all 54 seeds combined weighed just 3 tiny grams. This means a single apple seed weighs approximately 0.055 grams. A very negligible amount in reality. For a medium-sized dog to reach a life-threatening dose, they would need to consume 85 grams of those seeds. We also need to be specific about the word consume. There is a huge difference between swallowing and digesting. Apple seeds have a tough, protective outer shell designed to survive passing through a dog's digestive tract completely intact. If a dog swallows a seed whole, the stomach acid generally doesn't even penetrate the shell. It passes through unfermented. To release the amygdalin, the dog has to meticulously chew and crush the seeds. Only then is the toxin released. To reach toxic levels, a medium dog would need to eat the ground-up seeds of 200 apples in one sitting. The physical capacity of a dog's stomach would max out long before they ever reached that dangerous threshold. The dog would be vomiting from the sheer volume of fruit pulp first, protecting itself from any real poisoning. Many fear that cyanide accumulates in fat cells over time. They think 1 core a week leads to death. The internet is confusing cyanide with heavy metals like lead. Cyanide operates on a completely different metabolic pathway. When trace amounts of amygdalin hit the system, the canine liver handles it with incredible, natural efficiency. Rhodanese immediately binds cyanide with sulfur, converting it into thiocyanate, which is vastly less toxic and water-soluble. The kidneys then just filter it out of the blood, and the dog simply pees it out safely. This entire detoxification process is rapid, with a half-life of only 10 to 30 minutes. Think of the liver's Rhodanese enzymes as a team of highly efficient nightclub bouncers. If one unruly patron shows up, the bouncer quietly tosses them out without a fuss. The system only fails if 200 unruly patrons rush the door at the exact same millisecond. Unless you overwhelm the enzyme availability all at once, the cyanide simply cannot accumulate. If seeds are a mathematical non-threat, why do reputable organizations still tell you to remove them? The answer is physics and esophageal anatomy. We must replace toxicology fear with respect for mechanical hazards. The ASPCA recommends bite-sized pieces to eliminate the real risk of choking and intestinal blockage. Many dogs, like golden retrievers, are inhale first, ask questions later eaters. They often swallow without chewing. An apple core is incredibly dense and fibrous. It doesn't break down easily with a single bite. If a dog swallows a core whole, that solid mass can easily become lodged in the esophagus. Even if it makes it past the throat, the danger isn't over. The intestines narrow significantly further down. A whole core passes into the small intestine, running the risk of a mechanical bowel obstruction. A blockage prevents food and blood flow from moving, which leads to tissue necrosis or dead tissue. That is a life-threatening emergency requiring invasive abdominal surgery to save the dog's life. The advice to remove the core is critical. We are preventing an anatomical traffic jam, not a poisoning. However, there is an environmental hazard much more dangerous than a fresh apple: windfall apples. On the warm, moist ground, the skin breaks and it becomes a petri dish for opportunistic pathogens. Certain molds that grow on rotting apples produce mycotoxins such as patulin, a severe gastrointestinal irritant. Furthermore, natural sugars begin to ferment, turning rotting fruit into crude alcohol, adding ethanol toxicity. Ingesting this results in violent vomiting, hemorrhagic diarrhea, and potentially dangerous neurological tremors. When a properly prepared fresh apple slice hits the stomach, we enter the world of dietary fiber. Today's veterinary practice divides fiber into two distinct functional categories: insoluble and soluble. Insoluble fiber acts as an internal broom. It adds bulk to the stool and stimulates waste movement. It fills the stomach so the dog stops begging, but without adding any digestible calories. Apples bring pectin, a soluble fiber that dissolves in water, creating a gel-like consistency in the gut. When pectin reaches the large intestine, it undergoes active fermentation, starting a biological feast. The canine lower intestine is home to the microbiome, an ecosystem of billions of helpful bacteria. These bacteria possess enzymes the dog lacks, and they feast on that soluble apple pectin. The byproduct of this feast is what we are really after: short-chain fatty acids like butyrate. Butyrate is the primary energy source for the cells that line the walls of the colon. Giving your dog an apple slice delivers a targeted supply pack directly to their lower intestine. This fortifies the gut, forming a tight barrier that prevents pathogens from slipping into the bloodstream. It lowers the pH of the colon, creating an environment that suppresses bad bacteria effectively. The apple acts as a prebiotic fertilizer for your dog's entire immune system. However, a lot is not better. Treats should never exceed 5% of daily calories. Apples are packed with fructose. Excess sugar can force the pancreas into overdrive, triggering pancreatitis. A massive payload of fiber causes a fermentation party, resulting in bloating, cramps, and flatulence. Soluble fiber draws water into the colon. An excessive amount results in explosive watery diarrhea. Any new fiber must be titrated slowly over 10 days to allow bacteria to multiply. This allows the pectin-eating bacteria time to build up the workforce needed to handle the load. Finally, let's look at the apple skin. This is where botanical defenses are concentrated, specifically a compound called quercetin. In the veterinary world, quercetin is known as nature's Benadryl, belonging to the powerful family of flavonoids. When a dog has an allergic response, their immune system produces antibodies that bind to mast cells. Histamine is like a cellular grenade that causes blood vessels to dilate, leading to itching and red skin. Quercetin stabilizes the mast cell membrane, essentially keeping the pin in the grenade to dampen the response. Every day, cells produce free radicals. These unstable molecules violently attack healthy cells to steal an electron. Polyphenol are powerful antioxidants that donate an electron to the free radical without becoming unstable themselves. Regular intake of these polyphenol assists in fat metabolism, obesity mitigation, and cardiovascular health. They possess anti-oncogenic properties, helping to prevent the DNA mutations that can lead to cancer. These antioxidants can even help reduce cognitive dysfunction and delay canine dementia in older dogs. An apple is a supplement, not emergency medicine. For massive allergy flares, you need your vet's interventions. Quercetin from Whole Foods acts like a daily sprinkler system to keep the immune system's baseline cool. For decades, people claimed an apple is nature's toothbrush, believing it scrapes plaque off the teeth. A study in PLOS One found that after chewing an apple, the plaque index scores actually increased. Because apples contain natural sugar, the fruit debris actually adhered to the existing plaque biofilm. But while it didn't scrape the teeth, it caused a massive drop in oral bacteria viability, a biochemical nuke. Chewing hyperstimulates salivary glands, forcing alkaline saliva to buffer the acidic environment and neutralize bacteria. Combined with the antibacterial polyphenol in the skin, you get a massive, temporary bacterial die-off. An apple is not a replacement for the gold standard, daily mechanical brushing with dog-specific toothpaste. Being a well-informed parent is about science, not hysteria. Wash the apple, remove the core, and enjoy.